Trap Hill Collision presents Movies from Another World. Boy, this one's going to be controversial. Halloween 3, Season of the Witch is the first and only Halloween franchise film to not have Michael Myers as the main antagonist. This was and is quite the controversy. For a little bit of backstory, after the smash hit success of the original Halloween and its sequel, John Carpenter felt that the story of The Shape was finished and another sequel was unnecessary. The studio, on the other hand, was riding high off the success of the first two films and really wanted to leverage the name into more films. They decided they wanted to create an anthology film series, along the lines of Twilight Zone or The Outer Limits. The idea being every film be centered around the Halloween season. Now, I would have loved this personally, but alas, this film didn't perform to the studio's liking. People also hated that it didn't have Michael Myers, who at this point was iconic, and tied too heavily to the name Halloween to be left out. Setting people's feelings for the title aside, I truly believe if the film were just called Season of the Witch, that it would be loved, or at the very least appreciated a whole lot more than it is now. I've talked with several people personally that only hate it simply because it has no Michael Myers, which is very unfortunate because I think the film does a lot right. Starting with the fact that it's directed by Tommy Lee Wallace, who directed Stephen King's It miniseries and worked with John Carpenter on the original Halloween. Season of the Witch, however, while it may not have someone as iconic as Michael Myers, it still manages to leave a huge impact and even has its own iconic masks. I think the story and setting are also inherently interesting. This film just gives off so much Halloween spirit, from the score, which is one of the best of any horror film, to the gloomy atmosphere, to the very interesting and original mystery our main characters are trying to solve. Without giving too much away, and if you haven't seen the film, I seriously recommend you do, a doctor investigates the mysterious murder of one of his patients. Along with the help of the victim's daughter, they travel to a secluded town to investigate the Silver Shamrock Company, who she believes may have had something to do with his death. What they discover there, though, turns out to be much larger and more shocking than they ever would have otherwise guessed. I really think a lot of the reasons why I enjoy this film are reasons why other people may not. It really bucks the trends of a lot of horror films in that it's a lot more of a slower, atmospheric murder mystery that turns pretty disturbing near the end. While this film may not have a ton of scares or an outrageous amount of blood and gore, I think it still manages to do a great job at being shocking and scary in the implication of the events shown. It also has a great ending, which is one of my favorite parts. I think if you're more into the non-stop violence and gore type of horror films, maybe skip this one, but if you're into more slow burn psychological horror, with a really strong narrative and plot, give this one a shot. Hey, thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe, and if you like what you just saw, click the link to check out the other Movies from Another World. Also, our brand new album, Watch the Skies, is now streaming on Spotify and all other streaming platforms. Thanks for watching.